Good morning, Munising. Casey Ford for Coffee with Casey right here on AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO. Also on the WQXO Munising Facebook Live and YouTube and at WQXO.com. Coffee with Casey here in the beautiful Gallery Coffee Company. I'm your host, Casey Ford, and today we have a star-studded show. And it's always a pleasure when I can welcome in Rome Food and Beverage Director Jason Biega back to the show, because that normally means he brings food for my fat butt. So I'm super pumped to have him on. We'll talk about some things that are taking place at A Burger. We're also going to welcome in Hilary Ludecke from the Munising Farmers Market. Apparently I say Munising too fast, Jason. And then we're going to talk to Walt Smith, Superior Central baseball coach. And you can see the Superior Central hat right here, as we do cover all of Elger County. We want to make sure that Western Elger County knows they're just as loved as Munising here in Elger County. So we want to definitely get into that. But Jason, thank you for joining us once again right here, Coffee with Casey. It's always a pleasure to see what you've come up with next. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
Good to be here with you. Yeah, I'm doing well.
Now, it's a little bit different because we are now farther apart. I know how close we were in the other studio, how much you enjoyed our fondness, our closeness of each other. But, you know, the socially distanced, the new set. What do you think of the new digs compared to what we were in?
This is a lot more comfortable here. I don't have to smell you, so this is good.
You're not wrong on that, by the way. But lots of new exciting things. I mean, last time we talked about the opening of Tracy's.
Sure.
And before we get into A Burger and the new stuff, but talk about Tracy's, the reopening, and how well received it's been since we've opened the doors in April.
It's been a tremendous reception. I'm really proud of everybody we've been able to put together and get this back off the ground again. And I think we're going to have a phenomenal year. And
I know one of the popular things, and it's it's the surf and turf that has seemed to be a huge hit at Tracy's.
Yeah, surf and turf, you got your filet, you got your shrimp, your lobster, scampi sauce. I mean, you really can't go wrong with it. I really think we've put together something there's something there for everybody. So
I think you're absolutely right in that. As food and beverage director for Rome, Jason Biega joins us right here, Coffee with Casey from Gallery Coffee Company. Now, going to A Burger, it seems like there's always something new, something for somebody to try. I mean, we've had the olive burgers there. We have the mushroom Swiss burger. We've had coney dogs, things like that. But you've added some bison to the menu, and I know it's local. So I guess before we talk about what you have, talk about bringing bison into the fold and what that means to the burger family.
Yeah, sure. It's a product and a relationship I've been building on for 5-something years. When I first came up here, Orv Cavett, that operates Circle K Ranches, I think he's been doing it since 1970 is when he started. So he's been doing it a very long time. He's very seasoned at it. He produces bison that are naturally raised, no antibiotics, no growth hormones, high in protein, lean in fat, and processed in Falmouth, Michigan at Eagles Market down in the Lower Peninsula. So just an all-around phenomenal product, a phenomenal farmer.
And knowing you and getting Tracy's off the ground, you like being local. You like being in the Upper Peninsula, the Green Bay area, Lower Peninsula, but you invest in local. Why do you invest in local?
Well, because you're investing in yourself, right? It's just like we invest in this community, and it gets all back around to everybody. So, having the bison was something that I originally wanted to do with A Burger, but it just didn't fit the model at the time per se. But now I think that it's time that it does fit the model.
Jason Biega, the Rome Food and Beverage Director, joins us right here on Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO on the WQXO Munising Facebook stream, on WQXO.com, SoundCloud, and on YouTube. Let's get into this because we talked about healthy and how bison is better for you kind of deal. Talk about the flavor of bison for someone who might not know what bison tastes like.
Sure. It's got a little sweetness to it that beef doesn't. And really, it's really just got a lot more flavor. It's very clean.
It's not gamey.
It's not gamey. You know, I know some people think it's gamey. It's not gamey whatsoever. It's just got a very clean taste. But like I said, it's naturally raised. It's processed naturally. You know, what you're getting when you're eating a burger is probably one animal, you know, as per se. Sometimes you could say if you eat one hamburger, you might be eating 100 animals.
Good to know.
So
things like that just don't cross my mind.
Well, you know, I mean, it's a local. I mean, when you process animals, it's just a couple at a time, you know, so it's very hands-on.
Talk about getting bison from Rudyard area. What's the turnaround? When must you use the meat? Things like that to make sure you're getting the peak performance out of the animal.
You know, we go down to, what was the question, Casey?
I said, when do you get the peak performance, I guess, from the animal? Like, is there an expiration date from the time that?
Gosh, you know, I don't know the answer. I'd have to have I'd have to phone a friend on that one.
All of a sudden, it's how,
you know, I don't know what the maturity of the animal is when he takes them to process.
Okay.
You know, I want to say it's maybe 2 years.
Okay.
But I'm not positive on that.
Like between like lamb and sheep. I mean, obviously some people like lamb and I mean, other people don't, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about right now. But all right, let's go on from that. And I know that's kind of an impossible question. Yeah. You brought in the Bison Burger and a jalapeno cheddar bison brat.
Yeah.
Will you please display that for us? It's in the brown bag. I promise there's no alcohol, no liquor in there, at least not to my knowledge. And if you are, you're holding out.
We'll save that.
Hey, move the bag back a little bit.
Here, let's move it over here.
Okay. So this is the unveiling. I had one of these the other day. This is absolutely fantastic. I will eat this. I've actually had dinner tonight, but I'm going to eat this on air because, like I said, I'm fat and I want to eat it. But this is super good, and I know what's on it. Please tell our listeners and our viewers what is on this besides the grilled onions, which they do see. And Bryce, I'm going to see if you can bring that just to my computer screen. Can you do that? I know executive producer Bryce Burge is working the cameras and everything, but we have a close up on my computer. There we go. That's Casey, like super close in right there. But tell everybody what is on this bison jalapeno cheddar dog. Is that right?
Brat.
Dog brat.
It's a bratwurst.
Okay.
So yeah, it's got Dijon mustard and caramelized onions on it. But like I said, the sausage itself is extremely flavorful. It's fresh jalapenos in there. I mean, it's just got a ton of flavor packed into it. And the same thing with Polish sausage, a lot of flavor.
Okay, and we have this available at A Burger.
Yeah,
and we have the Bison Burger at A Burger. Did we bring a Bison Burger or no?
We did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's show that one too.
Let's get that out of the bag.
Yeah. Okay. I know Coach Walt Smith will be joining us here in just a little bit. Maybe he hasn't had dinner or something yet, but this is the Bison Burger. This is there we go. Tomato, and what kind of cheese is on there?
It's sharp white cheddar.
Okay.
And Dijon once again. You know, I've been eating his product for a while, and I used to just eat it on white toast with Dijon and onions. That's how I like to eat them.
Okay.
Just, you know, the meat as the priority, you know, so the center plate.
Now, there's lots going on. I mentioned some of the things that are happening at A Burger. I mean, and you offer this in a basket as well. Talk about that with not the hot dogs, but with the
jalapeno. So the burger we offer, you know, with fries as a combo option. That saves you a little bit of money. And then same thing with the brats. If you want to get 2 jalapeno cheddar brats and fries, or if you want to get 1 Polish sausage and 1 jalapeno cheddar brat and fries, we save you a little bit of a deal on there. So, yeah.
We have that. And like I said, we have the mushroom Swiss burger, which is always a fan favorite. And I know as specials, you've had the olive burger, things like that. Yeah. How was that received?
Olive burger went over. It went over well. You know, I might see it come back again. You know, I'm already thinking about some of the old favorites, you know, like the Enfuego and the nutty butter, I think it was called.
And I think it's important to rotate your specials because, I mean, some people like the mushroom Swiss, which is not always on the menu, and some people like the olive burger, like myself. Obviously, we talked about the Enfuego, the really good burger, by the way.
Yeah.
And you can get these in a double or a Mighty Mac kind of deal.
Right.
I know you oversee everything, but how many like Mighty Macs are you seeing?
From the bison, not as much from that product. You know, we definitely see a lot of Mighty Macs and the other beef products. And I do want to go back and correct myself. You know, I was talking about the beef and how many animals ground is. We do grind our own whole muscle product at A Burger, the beef. So what you're eating is from one muscle, you know, one animal, if you will,
Okay.
as opposed to
100.
100. So I didn't want to go back and correct myself. Normally, if you were to go to maybe a competitor, if you will, you might be going that direction. So.
All right. Well, we always appreciate the food. Get down to A Burger. They are open for breakfast. They're open for lunch and open for dinner. And we always talk about the chicken sandwich as well. Pickles.
Yeah.
Did you know, and maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't know how often you see my lovely wife. But did you know when she gets that A chicken sandwich, she gets extra pickles? Oh. So when you see me and I say, I don't want any pickles, she's picking up the slack for my lack of pickles because she's now getting double the pickles on hers. So I don't know if that messes up with inventory or anything like that.
No, but it just shows you that opposites attract. So,
well, she's a Packer fan and I'm a Lion fan. So yeah. I don't know. She did something right in this case. I mean, just throwing it out there. Right. The answer was me.
Look at that handsome man behind you. So
I mean, look at this. This is that guy with the beard and the headphones.
Yeah.
That's all she needed was a redhead with a beard.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Jason Biega, the Rome Food and Beverage Coordinator right here on Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO. Once again, the Bison Jalapeno Cheddar Brat, along with the Bison Burger, available at A Burger, along with your old fan favorites as well. So we'll take this time out. When we come back, we're going to talk to Hilary Ludecke from the Munising Farmers Market, as they're going to get going here relatively soon. If you're looking for good produce, go down to the Munising Farmers Market. We'll talk to Hilary about that right after this. You are listening to AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO in Coffee with Casey. You are watching Coffee with Casey on WQXO Munising and on YouTube. We'll take this quick time out, come back with Hilary Ludecke right after this.
Alger County Communities That Care is a local organization that offers preventative programming addressing teen pregnancy, violence, delinquency, school dropout, substance abuse, depression, and suicide. We are looking for members in our community to help with many of these programs and fundraisers we offer. If you would like to get involved, please contact us at algerctc.org. Alger County United and Thriving, promoting a safe, healthy, and prosperous environment for all youth and adults.
Hey, did you get the new chicken Uber Pasty from Miner's Pasties yet?
No, I didn't. Does it have the taters?
Yep.
Does it have the rutabaga?
Of course.
Does it have the onions and the carrots?
Yep, those two. It's a true Uber Pasty from Miner's with all the right fillings and that perfect flaky crust.
That sounds great. How do I get one?
The same as always, down at Miner's Pasties, open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 201 West Munising Avenue in Munising.
Hutphin's Health Mart welcomes you. Your hometown pharmacy is always here for you. Customer service comes first in all we do. You're gonna find that we love serving you at Hutphin's Health Mart. Service is still our best medicine.
Hutphin Health Mart has been a trusted source to handle your prescriptions for over 80 years. They're always ready to help in a personal way with their experienced and well-trained pharmacy staff. Family-owned and operated. Just people serving people. 119 Elm Avenue in beautiful downtown Munising, with convenient parking at the front or rear entrance.
At Hutphin's Health Mart, service is still our best medicine.
Spring is here, and that means it's grilling season. Is your propane tank ready for grilling steaks, burgers, and vegetables? If not, call Superior Land Gas, because they've been trusted for over 100 years, and this is what they do. Superior Land Gas provides propane for appliances, from your outdoor grill to a 1,000-gallon commercial tank. They have the resources and training for heating your home or office. Call Superior Land Gas in Wetmore to switch or get filled up today at 387-4660.
Back on Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO. Casey Ford inside the beautiful Gallery Coffee Company for Coffee with Casey. Also on YouTube and on Facebook Live and on SoundCloud. Literally, there is no way that you don't know we do a show here in Alger County. Casey Ford with the Munising Mustang hat on, the Superior Central Cougar hat, as well as we still have Walt Smith to go, who is the Superior Central baseball coach in Western Alger County, with Munising baseball players and obviously Superior Central baseball players, and they've had one heck of a year. So we'll get to Coach Walt Smith in just a minute. But there are a couple of things I do want to point out. And there are some special birthdays that are taking place. And one of them is one of my good friends and a teacher at Munising High School, Mr. Jeff T-Bear, celebrating a birthday. Renee Stamfly celebrating a birthday. One of my good friends, Missy Lee, out in the Gwynn area and Escanaba, depending on where she is for the weekend, celebrating a birthday. A UPW wrestler, and I know UPW hasn't really been around, Adam Hayes celebrating a birthday. Munising basketball player Jenna Matson celebrating a birthday. Brenda Rochefort celebrating a birthday on Monday. And I'd like to say happy birthday to all those people here in and around the area. But we welcome in Hilary Ludecke to Coffee with Casey, and she is part of the Munising Farmers Market. And it's kind of been a whirlwind of what's going on with the Munising Farmers Market. And I guess let's talk about this, because things have changed from a couple of years ago when the Farmers Market was paired up with concerts in the park, but there's some ongoing debate about parking and things like that, and it is what it is. But let's talk about COVID. Yeah. And how did COVID really affect the farmers market and the artisan market for you guys a season ago?
Well, this is my first season with the Munising Farmers and Artisans Market. Actually, I just took it over a couple of months ago, so I was not here to experience the beginning of COVID. Teresa Sawa was taking care of it then, and from what I understand, the restrictions were just so much that it couldn't go on as known. It didn't
make sense to go on.
It didn't make sense. It was too much of a risk, and so our farmers had to find other venues, other ways to access their clients.
So let's talk about you coming into this. So how and why did you step up to be part of the Munising Farmers Market?
Well, my husband, son, and I moved here in October. And for us, pretty much everything changed when COVID hit. My son went to school online. My husband's job permanently went remote, and I lost my position. So we had always debated about moving to the UP. We were originally from Southeast Michigan, and it just gave us the opportunity to do so earlier than we'd hoped.
Now, I'm going to ask you, Southeast Michigan, go blue, or are you Michigan State?
Ooh, we live right in between the two. So that's a debate in our family. Sometimes it's go blue, sometimes it's go green.
Oh,
I know.
You sound like
I'm a non-committal.
Honestly, you kind of sound like a Youper, because every single person I talk to, like, it seems like up here they're a Michigan football fan, but because of Izzo and what he did with Iron Mountain and Ishpeming and Northern Michigan University, they're like, go blue for football, but for basketball they're like MSU. And I was like, no, like, pick a side.
Oh, we got boys and girls from my hometown in both, so it's hard to choose one or the other.
Hilary Ludecke joins us right here from the Munising Farmers Market on Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO. Also on Spotify, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, and Facebook Live at WQXO Munising. So you're new to the area, so you get involved with the farmers market. What previous experience did you have with this and getting to know the produce and selling the produce, things like that?
Sure. Well, we were small hobby farmers in Southeast Michigan. We had honeybees, an apple orchard, eggs from our chickens, and I did lots of gardening. And our experience with farmers markets, it's limited as a vendor. I was a honey seller at a local farmers market. But when we came up here, I started to notice that it was, questionable if we're going to have a market or not. I decided to step in. I had the time and I have the energy and effort behind me. So I'm glad to do this for the community. And I'm excited to do this for the community. And I really hope to help build a robust market again.
Let's talk about honeybees.
Okay.
Love honeybees.
Yeah.
Talk about the queen. And up here, it's a little bit different compared to being down in Southeast Michigan. I guess I'm assuming the honeybees, like right now is probably the perfect time to start getting your honeybees out here in the Upper Peninsula. Talk about the queen and how the queen kind of makes things work here with honeybees up here.
Sure. Well, right about now, the bees are starting to become active. They're starting to emerge, and those the first flowers for pollinators are starting to open. So right now, the queen's starting to lay eggs, increase her population. She may have mated if she was a new queen, and now the work begins. So she's making more and more worker bees, and all of those bees are going to be bringing back pollen and creating honey for her.
Now, I bring that up for a reason, because a lot of people talked about the bees and the extinction of bees and how bees are on the decline. How many people do you know that are harvesting bees and they have like their own little, I don't want to say like bee farm, but that's kind of what it is. I mean,
Sure,
yeah. So let's talk about that. I mean, it seems like bees, I don't want to say are back on the rise, but it seems like more people are doing this kind of thing to help the bee and obviously get the honey, and it's good for the population, the bee population, to pollinate these flowers.
Right. Well, in the last 10 to 20 years, it's been really rough on honeybees. They are facing what we're calling colony collapse syndrome. So we're seeing a lot of colonies not make it through the winter for a number of reasons. They've got these tracheal mites and brood parasites that are happening with these bees, and also environmental factors. We do have some climate change problems that are happening that really stresses the bees. Also, we use a lot of things on our lawns and our golf courses and our gardens that are very detrimental to bees.
I can honestly say, in Southwest Michigan, where I'm from, I had to think about that because you're from Southeast. Like my parents always use like a company like True Green, and they always have, the grass is nice and things
beautiful,
like that.
yeah.
Yes. Up here, I don't use any of that stuff. Like we are completely natural. We have lots of wildfires, lots of wildflowers. I'll get that right. Not wildfires, wildflowers. We have that in our yard. Lots of dandelions, and I don't really like dandelions, but they already are. Actually, when I was in 6th grade camp, learned to eat dandelions. It's actually
they're edible.
Yeah,
isn't that cool?
Kind of weird, but anyway, never thought I would say that. But yeah, I learned how to do like the whole with the grass, like the whistling.
Sure.
I can't whistle to save my life, but yeah, the whole dandelion thing. When it comes to the farmers market, we talked about honey and probably having honey there available for sale. Yeah. What are some of the things that we can expect from the Munising Farmers Market?
Well, we're really trying to recruit more and more vendors right now. I think part of some of the stumbling blocks with getting the market started this year is that I'm not a local yet. And it's hard for me to be able to contact different farmers that I'm not aware of who's available.
Is there like a list that they gave you, or like these people did in the past?
I did it, some names and information, and I did contact everyone that I could, and I've gotten a mixed review. So hopefully closer to the starting date, or maybe even once we start, people will start adding on. But yeah, we're still looking for more vendors right now. What we can expect from our producers, our artisans, and our farmers at the market, as we've got maple syrup, we've got baked goods from Spruce and Sprocket Bakery, metal artisans, wood artisans, jewelry makers. Right now, I'm artisan heavy, and I'm really looking for some more farmers.
Okay.
Even if it's, you grow a couple of extra plants in your garden and you want to try out for a week at the farmer's market, sell your extra produce, and that'll help your community.
Hilary Ludecke joins us right here. Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO, also on YouTube, on Spotify, on SoundCloud. Joining us and as we talk about the Munising Farmers and Artisans Market. And I keep having to throw artisans in, and I don't mean disrespect by that, but everybody just kind of knows it as the Munising Farmers Market. How do you contact yourself for slots? I mean, obviously we normally have 15 to 2,000 people watching this show. If they want to get involved with the Munising Farmers and Artisan Market, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. First of all, Facebook or Instagram. You can find us on both of those.
I'll have you spell your last name just in case anybody wants to look you up on Facebook.
Absolutely. It's Ludecke. But you can go to the Munising Farmers and Artisans Market page. Those are the best ways to get a hold of me.
Okay.
Another way is to email munisingmarket@gmail.com, and I'll make sure to get vendor information to anybody who contacts me.
And I know you talked about when you guys start. When is the opening day for the Artisan and Farmers Market?
Our first day is Memorial Day.
Okay.
So yeah, we're excited for that because we're expecting a great turnout for tourists, but also we really want to cater to those locals. So bringing in more farmers in particular would really be great for our local population.
All right. Get a hold of her on Facebook. Get your produce out there. Obviously, if you want to do the artisan stuff too,
Absolutely.
you can. The more the merrier. It is a little bit different. When are the days that you're going to be doing this?
Monday evenings, 4 to 7 p.m.
Okay. And
Yep.
that's the only day, correct?
That's the only day right now. Yeah.
Okay. Monday, 4 to 7 p.m. is open on the 31st for Memorial Day.
It is.
All right. Go down, and I believe it's at Bayshore Park still?
It is, yeah.
All right. Go down to Bayshore Park. Go to the Munising Farmers and Artisan Market here in beautiful downtown Munising. We're going to take this quick time out. Hilary, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take this quick time out. When we come back, we're going to talk to Walt Smith, Superior Central baseball head coach, about the phenomenal season and series that they've recently wrapped up, but the season that they're having, a lot of big wins on that schedule. And I think it's very important to talk about Superior Central and the progress that they're making. And when people think about baseball in this area, it's mostly about Marquette Blues and the Reds, things like that. But, Superior Central really making waves this baseball season. So you're watching Coffee with Casey on AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO, also on WQXO Munising on the Facebook Live, SoundCloud, Spotify, and on YouTube. I hope I got everything in there. You're listening to Coffee with Casey on WQXO.
Timber Products Company, a leader in diversified wood product sales, manufacturing, and transportation, is now hiring primary day shift production laborers for their manufacturing facility in Munising, Michigan. They offer many opportunities for job growth and advancement in a comprehensive benefits package, including life insurance, health, dental, vision, and prescription coverage, vacation and holiday pay, flexible spending accounts, and a 401k plan with employer contributions. Timber Products Company is an equal opportunity employer, including protected veterans and people with disabilities. See all Timber Products Company opportunities on the Careers tab at timberproducts.com. Contact Rochelle Hanna at rhanna@timberproducts.com. That's rhanna@timberproducts.com.
Miners Falls Mini Golf will be open May 22nd with the Miners Falls Open. This miniature golf tournament will have 3 different age brackets: 8 to 11, 12 to 15, and 16 and older. There's a $10 entry fee for each player, and pre-registration is required by going to Hillside Party Store, downtown Munising, Hillside East on H58, or by logging on to Miners Falls Mini Golf on Facebook. It's Miners Falls Mini Golf Open May 22nd.
There's plenty of noise being made about the new A Chicken Sandwich down at A Burger. Hand-battered fried-to-order chicken breast is topped with a one-of-a-kind tangy Gluto sauce and sweet and spicy pickles. This delicious experience can be yours for just $9.29 at A Burger, located by the stoplight in downtown Munising. Try the new A Chicken Sandwich today.
Enjoy a great meal while taking in the beautiful scenery of Hovey Lake at the Buckhorn Resort. Located on Buckhorn Road in Munising, the Buckhorn Resort has over 10 burgers to choose from. Try their signature burger, the Buckhorn Burger, a bourbon-glazed third-pound Angus beef patty smothered in chunky blue cheese and bacon, served on a home-style sandwich roll. The Buckhorn Resort opens at 11 a.m. daily, or you can call 387-3559. All trails lead to the Buckhorn Resort.
Back on Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO. Oh, I need you. I'm sorry. I should have done this in the beginning. This is the beauty of what we do. Like, I don't always pay attention, but I should have had Coach Smith put his headphones on before we started this thing. But back on AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO, also at WQXO.com. On SoundCloud, on Spotify, on WQXO Munising, on Facebook Live, and on YouTube. I really like where the direction of this show is going, and whenever I can talk baseball, it is a great day as head coach Walt Smith of the Superior Central Cougar baseball team joins us right here on Coffee with Casey. And I have a lot of time to talk, which I am super pumped about because your baseball team doing phenomenal things this year. I know that you've beaten Marquette a couple of times. You've beaten Nagani a few times. In fact, besides Monday night's loss when you guys lost to Rapid River or Bark River?
Bark River.
Bark River, okay. That was only like your second loss of the season. So you guys having a really good year. First and foremost, welcome to Coffee with Casey right here on AM 1497.7 WQXO. Talk about this baseball season and what, like I said, the first game you lost, and then it's been a nice winning streak since. So talk about this baseball team.
Well, it's been a project that's been growing for a few years, and we lost Monday, but we also beat Bark River in the opener in that game.
Yes.
That's the conference, the game that counts towards the conference standings.
Let's talk about that real quick because you have two games. Why is
Right.
one the conference and the other one not?
I can't really answer that. That's just the conference rules. That's been that way since we've only been in the conference probably 3 years.
Okay.
And the conference game has always been the first game, but it's not like you blow the second game off. So
Correct.
I'm not making light of their performance. We broke down in the second game and they did not.
Well, sometimes things happen.
Right. And sometimes for instance, if the next game gets rained out, we don't make it up, that second game would count towards the conference. That's how you kind of work it. But
Okay.
typically it's the first game that goes into the standings.
Okay. Head coach Walt Smith, the Superior Central Cougar baseball team, joins us right here on Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO. So you're building a program here. And I know that, like, when you think baseball in the Upper Peninsula, a lot of people, and I talked about this, they point to the Marquette Blues. They talk about the Reds, Gladstone, Escanaba. Superior Central really hasn't been a powerhouse in the grand scheme of things. And then all of a sudden this year, and I know you've been building this program, and I know that you talk with Derek Swagen and you work with Derek Swagen at times as well. So talk about how this has all evolved and made Superior Central and what you've built towards today. And how long does it take to build a baseball team like Superior Central from the ground up? Because that's essentially what you're doing.
That's what we're trying to do. It's been going on for years. And you mentioned the UP. It's especially the North Shore is what I refer to it. There's not a lot of baseball.
There's not.
In recent years, Little League has been going down as far as the numbers go. And what my goal is to try to get to bring a little bit of a baseball IQ and mentality back up into this area and hopefully get the numbers back up. I guess it was probably 10 years ago. I had a kind of a vision, you might say. 10, 12 years ago, I started a privately run team here that was sponsored by Main Street Pizza from the Munising folks and down in Gladstone, different owners. And I tried to bring in the folks from Tri-County, the Chatham, Eben area with the Munising kids in hopes that as they progressed and got past the 12-year-old stage, that we could have a high school program. It kind of worked, not as much as I'd like to. A lot of kids dropped off. That seems to be what happens here. They play till they're 12. When the 13-year mark hits, there's nowhere to play. There's a juniors program that we're trying to get the numbers back up. That's hit or miss each year. But there's not, it's tough to schedule games. There's not a lot of ball for the kids once they hit 13, and a lot of kids just stop. And because there's not a program at Munising, a lot of the Mustang players and the athletes, they just kind of don't play baseball anymore. And so I'm trying to bring that back a little bit, get that mentality going where people want to play.
And I know you're from downstate. I'm from downstate, and we talked off air a little bit. And where I came from, you start practicing in October and November, and you're in the cage, you're indoors, you're hitting, you're pitching, you're doing catching. Some of the facilities even have like a baseball field in there where you can take pop-ups. And you're right, there's no place like that up here because a lot of kids, basketball heavy here in the Upper Peninsula,
Right.
football heavy here in the Upper Peninsula, hockey. I mean, hockey's a lot different up here. And I don't want to say than downstate, because downstate, especially the West Michigan area, has really picked up in hockey compared to what it was when Detroit was Little Caesars everything, but like Western Michigan has now picked up where the Detroit leagues were, and they can compete now. And the Upper Peninsula's always been hockey rich. So, what are some of the struggles you talked about, like not having a 13? But how do you keep kids engaged? Or a lot of people, and it's just my opinion, and I could be wrong, I feel like they kind of just do baseball in the spring because it's something to do.
Yes.
So how do you get that mentality and change that mentality so you can get more kids to like a St. Norbert kind of deal, or get them maybe downstate? And I don't want to say like a Central Michigan, because I don't know how often the Upper Peninsula is looked at for athletes up here. But how do you develop kids up here to make sure they can take that next step, kind of like what Lower Michigan's doing?
Well, we try to just get them a little bit more coaching. If I see somebody some aptitude, we might try to get them a little more advanced coaching somewhere. I'll try to bring some people in. You've talked about Marquette, the Blues programs. There's some coaches over there who have helped, and I still have some connections downstate where we got some folks down there that can help place kids. I think we have, in the last 4 years, we got 4 or 5 kids playing college baseball out of our high school. So we've had those successes. That's good to see. But to answer your question, to them, you can just kind of lead them and give them some of the tools. I've got a couple right now. In fact, Coach Panko called me last night from Bay. That really helps us having that school open up a baseball program down there, because it gives a lot of our local kids a chance to kind of stay home and still get to go and play the next level. They've got several kids down there from Gladstone, Escanaba area that play on that team. So making those connections. He's going to come. He was going to come to our game today. The game got canceled for Marquette. Mr. Panko was going to come, and he was going to talk to 3 or 4 of my players. I taught, well, tonight I'm putting him out there. If he's listening to Parker Mackey, I talked to him a little bit on the side, and he's a senior. He's nursing a knee injury right now, but I think Parker could go on to play at a place like Bay if he decides to. He'll have to put some work in and get stronger. But making those connections, showing them some different drills, and getting connected with other coaches and showing them what's out there for baseball is the best that I can do for what we're doing up here.
Now, being a downstate guy, like I said, we had Anderson's hitting in elite baseball, and Billy Peterson and Curtis Morgan, former Detroit Tiger. They're all teaching everything in West Michigan. And I'm not so sure about the Lansing area or Detroit area, but I have to believe there's facilities where you can go work out. Do you believe if someone actually opened up like a baseball facility where you could train a couple of times a week up here, do you think people would show up, or is it because of the other sports? Like, and you mentioned Parker Mackey, he plays basketball, and they train for basketball, and they have, let's face it, they play a lot during the year as well. I mean, do you think a baseball place could be a year workout place up here and survive and thrive?
Well, I guess I don't know. I'd like to see it. I'd like to run that. I'd like to try to run that course.
As well.
I'd like to see it.
Because you're talking like 2 baseball guys are just kind of talking right now, because I love this sport. I love this game. But I've often asked myself that question, because, yeah, you have some kids that are talented in this area, but when you have so many other things that are going on with football, and with basketball, could you sustain just a strict baseball school up here? And I don't know that answer. And obviously you don't want to wear out the kid, because you don't want, you have Friday night football, and then you're practicing during the week. Are you going to go right from football practice and go hit baseballs for an hour in a cage? I don't know.
It's difficult. But the other sports help develop you for anything. I mean,
absolutely.
I really encourage my kids to do multi-sports.
I also encourage that.
Developing. Yes. And you mentioned hockey. I really don't know much about hockey, but I notice things with hockey players. They have coming in. I've got one this year. It's another Mackey that was away from baseball for a couple of years. But I've noticed this throughout my time coaching. These guys that play hockey all the time, they have a natural vision and hand-eye coordination. I see them on the football field. They're able to see the holes if they're running back. And they just have a natural athleticism to them. And I think that hockey develops some very good timing and athleticism. You got to, work on their swings.
Yeah.
And what you say is very true with our athletes up here. Right now, I rate our team. I have a team full of really good athletes. Our baseball IQ needs to improve. That's the biggest thing. They're just not, it's not part of the culture, so to speak, as far as the higher level end of baseball. And so, the intricacies of the game is somewhat lacking. And if we had that facility like you're talking, we could work on that partially throughout the year and really probably develop further. But take what you can get.
Walt Smith joins us right here. Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO. Also on Facebook Live on the WQXO Munising Facebook page. Also on YouTube, on SoundCloud, on Spotify. You have 23 kids on your roster. That is one heck of a roster. And we talked, and I know we said this off air, but I don't mind bringing it on air, about JV baseball.
Right.
How often can you have a JV baseball team that can face other teams that have a JV program?
Well,
And this talks about baseball IQ, because obviously the more you play,
the more you better you get.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So how many teams can you actually play that have a JV team?
Believe it or not, it seems to be growing a little bit up here, mostly on the South Shore teams. There's not many up here. Let's face it, there's not many towns that have,
Right.
on the North Shore up here. Escanaba's got a JV team. Bark River's got a JV team. Let's see, Marquette's got a JV team. I don't know about Menominee. I think Newberry does. I'm not positive on that, but I think they do. They're popping up. Manistique's got a varsity team this year, first time I think ever. Maybe decades ago, I'm not sure. But they're now on the program, and they had good numbers. They came out there. They're learning, but they had good numbers, so I expect them to do things. So they're popping up. There's 4 or 5 teams right within driving distance that we can play and get a full JV schedule going here. It's the first time we've ever had JV games, and I think that next year it'll get better. I mean, this is the first year. Last year our season canceled. You talk about my numbers. I had 35 signed up last year before COVID hit, and then the season was taken out.
That's unbelievable. Walt Smith joins us right here on Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO, serving all of Alger County. Let's talk about COVID, and it's weird because, and I know I'm only 8, 9, 10-year-old coach for the minors right now and trying to develop and teach kids how to play the game. But when we talk about football and basketball, and then you take a year off of baseball, how hard is it to get your swing back, to get your arm back in the condition it needs to be in to pitch 7 innings or 10 innings in a week or 12 innings in a week? How much did your kids struggle at first, basically having a year off? And I know you can practice and do some of that stuff, but it's not the same. It's just not. What kind of effects did you guys feel from that?
We were really rusty, even more so than normal. It was definitely a factor. Last year really hurt us. It hurt everybody, every kid that got something taken.
Yes.
It was devastating. For our team though, last year, that was my springboard into this year. I seen that coming a couple of years ago. I predicted that this year, we thought, our coaches and I thought that this year was going to be a very good year for us. Last year really hurt us bad, set us back. We're still doing fine this year.
Physically and emotionally.
Everything. We lost. We had they were 10th graders. I got a core of seniors now that were 10th graders then, and we knew that core was going to be a nice group coming when they were seniors. You took away the entire junior year of them, of their development. And for us, it hurts even worse because of something you mentioned earlier. Some places have indoor facilities. Even though they had COVID, they might have got some work. They had different things they could do. We had very little. So it did hurt us, but our kids have adjusted. They've made the best of a bad situation. Superior Central School has made it to where now we do have some JV games. And that should be talked about because a lot of your people may not understand that. If it wasn't for Superior Central School, all these kids here could not play baseball in high school.
You're absolutely right.
We have a co-op. They have a field. We've put a lot of work into it. It's a playable field now. It's a beautiful location. And also, you may not know that Mid-Penn is allowed to play with us.
Right.
We have no players this year from Mid-Penn, but I usually have 2 to 4.
Okay. And I do want to point out, and you have a plethora of Superior Central and Dakota, and I'm sorry if and Bryce and I have talked about this in the past, if I butcher the last name, feel free to correct me, but Dakota Mackey, Jason Canerva, CJ Adams, Eli Penny, Alex Curry, Trent Rudder, Wyatt Kulik. I believe that's Dr. No, it doesn't matter. John Myron. Is it Myron?
John Myron.
Myron. Okay. Lucas Sweatich. There you go. Hudson Candy. Katie.
Hudson Katie.
Okay. Logan Frusty. And obviously we know some of these from football as well,
right.
Especially the Frusty family and the Frusty core. Zach Frusty, Kyle Frusty, Matt McClary,
Matty Ice.
Okay. And then you get in the Munising roster with Andrew Kane and Blake Walter and Jesse Duran, Josh Price, Irvin Ludy, Billy Chris, Sam Sturgis, Ashton Weimer, and Hayden Rockhill.
Well, a couple of them didn't come out that you mentioned. Ashton didn't come out. He was early on. We thought he was going to be on the roster, but he's not on it. Neither is Ludy.
Okay.
But you got Nick Singer came also.
Okay.
We have eight students from Munising, student athletes, and I don't know if you mentioned them all or not. Here.
That's just what's on my roster.
Josh Price is a senior. Did you have him?
Let me see here. Yes, I said Josh Price.
Billy Crisp.
Yep.
Nick
And I know the Chris family because Billy's a wrestler.
Right.
And my
Good
brother-in-law,
wrestler,
Joe, is the wrestling coach. So I've seen some of these guys. And Billy, the whole family, just great athletes. So I know obviously more of the Munising family than what and Andrew Kane.
Right.
But I mean, I know more of the Munising family than I do the Superior Central family. I just like with the Frosties, I know them because of football and Skip Rudder, things like that. So I know a little bit of the Rudder family and the grounds on that. So I guess when you see the rivalries with football and basketball, and then you get the co-op for baseball.
Right.
What is that like when you have Munising Superior Central now together as one? And it's weird because you can get that varsity pen as a Cougar. You have to if you're a varsity baseball player, and you're not a Mustang at that point. It's weird.
It's not as weird as you'd think. We've been
Really?
doing it so long. No, you'd have to see it to believe it.
Okay.
And I try to get this message out, and I try to get our kids from Munising to get the message out to the student body. You would be amazed at how the kids mesh.
That's awesome.
In fact, I think some of the Munising kids just went out to the Superior Central prom here last week. So, I mean, they get along great.
Good.
I've never had an issue of the Superior Central Munising rivalry. I've just never seen it during baseball. They mesh really well, and you got to see it to believe it, see how close they get. The kids are really this group this year is even a special group to me. They're all special.
Right.
But this group here, we were talking about tonight at practice. We had practice. I've actually gotten in trouble a couple times from some parents and the admin there because I go past our times. You don't even realize it because these guys are never going like this at practice at their watch.
How much time we got left?
Never.
That's
They'll
awesome.
just keep playing.
That's a great mentality.
And they're just a really good group. I've got zero discipline problems with this group. Knocking on that wood right there. But if I did have a disciplinary problem, it would be an unusual situation. They're just a real cohesive group.
Head coach Walt Smith, the Superior Central Cougar baseball team, joins us right here. Coffee with Casey, AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO. All right. We talked about this baseball season and what you guys hope to achieve. I mean, when you look at your district and, Manistee is in there, but I think it's like Gladstone is in there as well, and Escanaba. I mean,
Escanaba's not.
But Gladstone is.
Yes, Gladstone and Menominee are both in there.
Is Manistee as well?
Manistee is, and Newberry and us.
Okay, so you see that, and I guess talk about playoffs and how that and seeding and how you guys could face each other in the playoffs and what you look for in those other teams.
Well, it's we drew Menominee. That's who we start off.
Okay.
With. We're the host school this year also.
Yes.
Superior Central's the host school.
We actually looked at broadcasting, and I know this isn't your problem, but we actually looked at broadcasting some of your games. There's just no cell phone signal at all at your baseball field.
I'm hoping something might change in that down the road. There may be something in the works. We'll see. I don't know. I've talked to Mr. Velmo about that, but that would be nice. We'd like to get a press box. That's one of the goals for the program.
Okay.
There's some things we'd like to do to enhance our surroundings because I'm telling you, it is. Every time I walk out there, I just stop and I take a look around, and it's beautiful.
It is.
I just like the field. It's just a gorgeous setting out there to me.
And it absolutely is. But let's go back and talk about your district. And you play Menominee. You are the host school.
We're the host school. The districts are we're a wild card. We really are. This team, we showed yesterday what kind of team we are. I talk to my team about this all the time. We have to bring it in a little tighter, get the mental errors cut down. We're that type of team that probably nobody really wants to play. Bark River, I believe, was ranked 8th in the state yesterday, and we took it to them big time in the first game. And then we fell apart in the second game. So we're trying to get it to where we are a little bit more disciplined, to where we can play complete games, several in a row, because, of course, it's single game elimination.
Yep.
And the things you got to worry about with districts is, and I want to bring this up at some point with MHSA, go through whatever channels we have to. I don't like the way they seed the districts because they're not seeded. You just draw. And so what happens with that, and this has happened to me in a few different years, and you got to play who you got to play. That's the way it goes.
Right.
But with high school rules, we have things that you have to abide by, like pitch counts. So if my pitcher, my ace, throws so many pitches, you got to rest so many days, which that should be. You don't want to hurt a kid's arm.
Correct.
However, you can go. I could go 38-0 for my high school season, and a team goes 0-38, they get a bye. So I got to go up to the first game of district, and you burn out your ace.
That's not right.
It's not right, but that's the way it is, the way it's always been. I can't find anybody that agrees with it. So that's something we have to talk about with MHSA and the coaches.
And even basketball does seeding now.
They do. I don't know if they always did.
No, they didn't. It was kind of a random draw as well.
Yeah, and I just don't understand that. But it's even worse for the baseball situation because
Right.
of that pitch count.
No, you're absolutely right.
You should earn a chance to,
and
throughout the
obviously
season.
you want to throw your ace in the first game, because if there's no second game, you don't want to be playing the what if game.
Right. I fully expect to see Menominee's ace in that first game.
Yeah.
And then that's what you have to do.
Let's talk about after the high school baseball season. A lot of these kids, they go play Marquette Blues. Where do they go after high school baseball season's done?
This year, I'm trying to get as many as I can into the Legion program. I used to coach the Reds.
Okay.
I have a relationship down there with some of the folks down there, and that's the nearest place for them to play baseball that's at a decent level to where they can continue to grow from a baseball mentality. And I'd like them to go down there. So, yes, I have several players that are going to go down there, and based on their age and skill level, they'll be rostered on the Marquette Blues or Reds. And this year, they've even got a junior Reds, I guess they're calling it. That's going to be, so there's 3 Legion teams.
That's
under the
awesome.
flag.
So it looks like the numbers on paper are going up.
They are. A lot of people, that needs to get out there, because some people think it's a dying sport. It's because we live around here and it's not real prevalent, but it's growing.
Well, I want the reason I bring that up is how many games is someone playing if they're playing high school baseball and then going to Legion baseball? Because I know at one point Legion used to play like 60 some games,
They
but
sure
now,
did.
but now that's been drawn back a little bit because you play high school now, then you go play Legion ball.
Right.
So how many games is one playing in a season if you're playing high school and Legion baseball?
Well, if you're a serious ball player, you'll be playing anywhere from 40 to 80 games.
And I
It
love
just
that.
depends on what the seasons are. Up here, we don't get that many.
Right.
My high school team, high school, you're allowed 38 games, not counting the tournaments. You're allowed 38 games, but we never get that because even if you schedule them, you wouldn't get them all.
No.
With our weather, we usually play between 20 and 24, I think, is our typical schedule.
Right.
And the Legion team level, or the Legion schedule, will be more playable because it's June and July.
Right.
And I believe Derek told me they got, I could be off on this, but I think all the teams got at least a 40-game schedule, 30 to 40.
That's awesome.
And that'll really develop our players.
Now, as a coach, I want to take the coach hat off and put your dad hat on. How awesome is it that you're able to coach your son and get to see some of the things that he's been able to do and grow as, I mean, I know he went to Munising.
He did.
But let's talk about him, because I also know he played for the Blues too. So
He did.
talk about getting to see your son grow as an athlete and becoming the man that he is.
Oh, boy.
Is it weird being the dad too and stepping back and watching, and because obviously being the head coach of Superior Central, then letting someone else coach him and see things?
Right. Sometimes it's easier to coach when he's not on my roster, to be honest with you. I think a lot of times I was harder on him than other players.
As you should be.
I
I mean, I know I'm harder on my son because I have expectations of that.
Mhm. And but watching him, I mean, he's playing college baseball now down in Flint.
Right.
And I don't get to go see it very much because I'm coaching and that's a long ways away. But to watch him grow, it was good. He had lots of ups and downs. His skill level progressed. And then he decided to go. He went to Saginaw his junior year and lived down there for the summer and played for the Saginaw Sugar Beets to get him a little higher level exposure down there. And that worked out well. He matured. Then he came up here his senior year, and it was really his maturity as a person rather than a baseball player that helped him progress. I mean, he went from a very immature young man, like a lot of us are or have been.
It happens.
Right? And he matured, and he started playing more serious. Now, from a baseball player standpoint, I can barely recognize him. He's bought in wholly with the entire program. He's much bigger. He watches his diet. He lifts 5 days a week. He's pretty much all in. He's leaving for Louisiana for a month in June to stay down there with topvelocity.org down there to work on his velocity training for lower body and all that. And so it's interesting to watch him from a dad standpoint, from how he developed, but more as a person than a baseball player. That might sound weird, but I mean my kid he had a hard time getting through high school. Academic wise, he made the dean's list down there in college now. It's remarkable.
I will save that for another show, because I kind of went through the same thing. Like, I was never ineligible for baseball, but when it wasn't baseball season, I wasn't really a great student, but it never. And we had that rule where I grew up in Jenison, and Jenison's notorious baseball school. You have to be. I know MHSA at that time said you had to be passing 4 out of 6 classes.
Yep.
They wanted you 5 of 6 or 6 of 6, or you didn't play. They held you to a higher standard down there because they wanted you to earn your playing time in the classroom first and then on the ball field. So I actually had a lot of respect for that where I went to school. Coach, I appreciate your time. We're short on time, but thank you for coming down, joining us on Coffee with Casey. Good luck to your Superior Central Cougars as you guys march towards the playoffs and take on Menominee. When is that game? When does district
I believe it's
start?
June 1st districts.
Okay. Get out there, go to Superior Central, root on these Cougars and these Mustangs. We'll take this quick time out. When we come back, we'll finish Coffee with Casey right after this. You're watching Coffee with Casey on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook Live, and listening on AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO.
When it's time for you to tackle a home project, you go to 41 Lumber, because you know 41 Lumber has the best products so your projects will last. Every kind of home project, you name it, 41 Lumber has it. And 41 Lumber has the experience to help you with any questions you have along the way. 41 Lumber even offers complete home and project design services. Your projects start at 41 Lumber with better products for better results. 41 Lumber, building your dreams one project at a time.
How would you like to start a new job at $21.87 an hour with benefits from day one, including 401k match and pension? You need to check out Nina. Nina, a paper-making company with a proud heritage of over 100 years in business. Are you ready to hit the ground running? $21.87 an hour for the first 90 days, benefits from day one, and a match 401k. Check out nina.com/careers and search for their hourly job openings in Munising.
As things slowly get back to normal in the Upper Peninsula, the employees at Embers Credit Union are here, ready to serve you. Our frontline staff is ready to safely handle cash and checks and answer questions you have about your account. Our loan team is ready to help out with new or existing loans in person, on the phone, or through email. Our commercial team is ready to assist you with your business loan and the Payment Protection Program. We are always ready to take members to the next level. We're Embers Credit Union. Let's live it up.
Thinking about upgrading the bedroom carpet or the floor in your home? Now is the perfect time to get a quote from Flynn's Flooring in Wetmore. Flynn's Flooring is locally owned to give you the personal attention you deserve, from carpet to hardwood, or maybe even a vinyl or tile floor. Flynn's Flooring will sit down and go over options with you. So, what are you waiting for? Call and set up an appointment with Flynn's Flooring today at 387-1993.
Back on Coffee with Casey right here on AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO. I like to thank everybody that has come on Coffee with Casey, and that includes Rome Food and Beverage Director Jason Biega joining us and talking to us about the jalapeno cheddar bison sausage and the bison burger that he brought onto the show this morning, along with Hilary Ludecke from the Munising Farmers and Artisans Market that gets going on Memorial Weekend, and head coach Walt Smith of the Superior Central Cougar baseball team. I'd like to thank everybody that continues to join us right here on Coffee with Casey from the Gallery Coffee Company, Friday mornings from 10 to 11 o'clock. Come on down, get yourself some coffee. We do replay this on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. So I like that 9 a.m. time slot. A lot of people seem to be liking it as well. Really quick, it is super important, like today, very latest tomorrow, get involved with the Miners Falls miniature golf tournament, or the Miners Falls Open. It is May 22nd, so it's next Saturday. We're trying to get as many people signed up like right now, the long-term forecast shows like 56 degrees and sunshine. So up at Miners, it's probably going to be like 64, 65, because it's always warmer up on the hill. That's 100% fact. It is warmer up on the hill. Get involved with the Miners Falls Mini Golf Open / tournament. It is May 22nd, sponsored by here at Rome Media, and we have some fine sponsors getting on with us as well to help with some of the costs, like trophies and things like that. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But please, it's out there on Facebook. I know a lot of people have the maybe attending. Make that maybe a definite. Get the family out there. You have a chance to win a trophy, maybe a putt-off kind of deal with this tournament, because obviously we want to see some competitiveness. It's 8 to 11 for the age group. It's 12 to 15, and it's 16 and older. So let's just say you're a 38-year-old dad and you bring your 8-year-old son. This is all hypothetical, of course. Don't have one of those. You can bring the kids and you can golf at the same time. So it's the Miners Falls Open. It is Saturday, May 22nd. Get involved. For floor director Bryce Bowerman, executive producer Bryce Burge, I'm Casey Ford. Thank you for listening to Coffee with Casey right here on AM 1400, 97.7 WQXO Munising.